sold us, bro. Bro, film. People, bro, why you think slavery go good, bro? I'm not mad at slavery, bro, because white people are enslaving people too. I know.
Now, part of me wants to fucking just blame this on Kodak Black being a little bit of a tweaker, as we've seen in recent times. A majority of the time when he's on the internet, he's either one, slightly sober, or two, he's off one of them Broward County jiggers. A majority of the time, a good 70 to 80% of the time, that nigga's off of them Broward County jiggers, bro. I'm not gonna lie. All right, y'all, we got rappers selling out the black community. Damn. Video by Antonio Talks. I just got done talking about the whole Nicki Minaj TPUSA situation. And towards the end of that video, it really made me think about some of the rappers and people in the music industry that have sold out the black community for dollars, man. Sold out the black community for white approval. And I'm glad that this video popped up on my timeline, man, because it's a lot of rappers. Some of y'all favorites, man. I can name a few at the top of my head. Kodak Black, NBA Youngboy. Man, a lot of people hate to hear Youngboy, man. But as you saw in the fucking, I don't know if y'all seen the Sex and Violence music video, but there's a background of that shit being like Hail Trump. Yeah, that shit's crazy. Anyway, let's get into this, man. Let's go.
Today we're going to be talking about a lot of rappers and how they are some of the biggest sellouts. The whole rap game is in shambles right now. You know, I recently did a video on the whole rap fatigue situation. It's not real, by the way, but I can say that a lot of people are tired of the mainstream rappers. And that is a whole different, reason right there. So Kodak Black, we're going to be talking about him first.
I know y'all from Africa too. I just hate the Africans who act like y'all better than love and like y'all Africa should have never sold us, bro. Bro, film. People, bro, why you think slavery go good, bro? I'm not mad at slavery, bro, because white people are enslaving people too. I know.
Now, part of me wants to fucking just blame this on Kodak Black being a little bit of a tweaker, as we've seen in recent times. A majority of the time when he's on the internet, he's either one, slightly sober, or two, he's off one of them Broward County jiggers. A majority of the time, a good 70 to 80% of the time, that nigga's off of them Broward County jiggers, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So some of the things he says don't make sense or just completely stupid. So I could say it's that, but a lot of it is just him being bigoted and not knowing, him being a little ignorant.
You know what, bro? Black people, bro, we pussy as bro. I'm gonna say that.
Kodak, bro, have you ever opened up a history book or even did some research for yourself? The whole theory that Africans sold other Africans, bro, it is not true at all. Let's go to school right fast. This right here is a picture of Africa before it was invaded by Europeans. You see, just like now, Africans didn't view all of them the same. And let me give you a better example. In Europe, you had the British, the French, the Spaniards. They were all white, but they didn't consider themselves all white. Africa was the same way. Now, let's go back to the picture. As you can see, there are multiple different, cliques, tribes, communities, whatever you want to call them. And by the way, Africa is extremely huge, okay? The way they put it on the map does not give it justice. Now, the same way the Europeans were battling each other and, fighting for goods, economics, whatever the reason is, the same thing was happening in Africa. So when these different tribes would battle with each other, the losers would get taken as slaves. Now, this is the thing. The slavery that was practiced during this time versus chattel slavery are completely different. Majority of the time, the slavery that was going on in Africa was pretty much like indentured servants. It was nowhere near as brutal. You could work your way out, pay your way out, and it was just a common practice at the time, not justifying it, by the way. Chattel slavery, on the other hand, we all know how bad and brutal it was. 400 years of that nonstop. You couldn't get out. I'm talking about we was getting aid, fed to alligators. Like, y'all know this stuff. Now, I am Black American, but I always give my props and my roots tie back to Africa. One thing I hate about a lot of these FBA dudes or whatever you want to call them, they love flexing that 10% of European DNA. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes are no different from a lot of the white supremacists. They colorists. They love saying that I don't look African. Whole time they be looking African as hell. And like I said, it just seems like they're flexing.
Yeah, this diaspora war shit gotta stop, bruh. This fucking Africans versus African Americans shit gotta stop. This African Americans versus Caribbean shit gotta stop. All of this shit gotta just be deaded. I'm not gonna lie. I saw a little bit of the diaspora war shit happening when Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica, and some of the African American people that were there were shitting on Jamaicans, and then as a result, Jamaicans just started shitting on African Americans, and I hated it. I fucking hated it. So yeah, this diaspora war shit gotta be deaded, bruh. We gotta stop that shit in 2026, bro. Because at the end of the day, we are all the goddamn same. At the end of the day.
Percent of European DNA. And I want to say another thing. Contrary to belief, the Africans actually did try to fight to get us back. They don't teach you that though. Why would they?
Fortunately, the U.S. school system has done a terrible job teaching us Black history. But yes, there were literal wars over the slave trade fought between Africans and Europeans, both on the continent and in the diaspora. I'm talking centuries of wars and battles over the slave trade. And actually, African leaders did come to the United States during the Civil Rights Movement and welcomed African Americans to the continent as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taharka Ade, an Africologist, scholar of Africa and the African diaspora. And many of you might have heard the notion that
nigga's hair is fire. Anyway,
espoused that Africans never looked for other Africans that were stolen away in the Atlantic slave trade. However, the truth is that Africans searched, paid ransoms, wrote kings, wrote governors, crossed oceans, and literally risked their lives to rescue people stolen away in the European trade of enslaved Africans. Here are a few examples. King Nyambana of Sierra Leone tried to rescue 3 relatives of his sold away to the West Indies. A leader in Guinea-Bissau wrote to the King of Portugal trying to rescue someone of importance to him. And King Gezo of Dahomey sent a delegation to the Americas to rescue someone believed to be his mother, and had her returned. But it wasn't just kings and people in high places. For example, Shade Richards recalls the story of how his grandfather traveled from Africa all the way to Georgia in order to rescue his son Alfred.
Which Georgia? Like American Georgia or European Georgia? I don't know.
Both men did not survive
Georgia.
the journey. There's also the story of a father from Tembo who spent 4 years trying to recover his son Amado. Another story involves an ordinary man begging the governor to help free his friend Famara, as well as a young boy who had been sent away. Fathers crossing oceans, friends petitioning governors, people paying any ransom they could to return their loved ones back home. But I feel it's important to note that for ordinary Africans in this period, crossing the Atlantic to retrieve a loved one would have been very, very difficult. And many would not have survived the journey. For more information on this, including more details on the information I've shared with you in this video, I encourage you to read Fighting the Slave Trade by Sivian Juf.
I'm about to buy that book.
Let's get back on the topic of rappers and selling out. Young Thug.
I feel like I always wanted to do this type of music, and then I feel like rap is in like a weird like space right now, because it's just saying like everybody beefing, and it's just like some of the biggest, two of the biggest artists in the world, like Clash, and a lot of like the fucking ripple effect that came out. Weird. I feel like it's time. I feel like we gotta like take it to the next level. We gotta level up. Like AI, it's just so much. Everything in the world leveling up except hip hop. Like niggas being like worse. Like
why is he moving around like that?
Hip hop, maybe just your music, buddy. You know, people have the real rappers.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bruh. UI Scooty was dog ass. I'm not gonna lie. That might have been one of the worst albums I've heard from Thug. Respectfully.
They've been spitting. This is the same guy that dropped the album with him having a white face. He then had a song of him spamming the N-word with the hard R. And just to add icing on the cake, once he dropped the song in the album, he hopped on a Aiden Ross stream. So he already knew the audience that he was trying to garner. Racist ass white kids talking about the rap needs to level up. Nigga, you got out of jail and started dropping bullshit. Now another rapper, y'all.
Young Thug got out and started grifting. Gunna got out and started dropping the heat. Man, that new Gunna, bro, I'm saying new. That album dropped a couple months ago. That shit was fire. Holy.
21 Savage. He started this whole movement on Twitter that I can kind of get behind, but I'm going to just explain my problem with it. So for one, he went on Twitter and basically started telling like a lot of people to squash their beef. As you can see, he added Gunna and Young Thug. He said, y'all fix that. Y'all love each other. You knew Gunna wasn't no gangster when he told the first time and we subbed it under the rug for you. You knew he wasn't trying to leave you to hang. If the streets, we ain't get nothing but trauma from that. Over 48,000 likes. He also added Quavo and Offset. Y'all tell the world I put y'all in a group text and told y'all squash it before it even got far. If y'all was still together, y'all would be unstoppable.
Yeah, I don't know if like Quavo and Offset's beef is ever going to get like fixed, because I feel like Offset kind of blames Quavo for Takeoff dying. But then also like Quavo and Takeoff kind of split off away from Offset when it was found out that like this nigga Offset slimed this nigga Quavo out for a girl. I mean, for his girl. That shit was crazy. But yeah, I feel like that Young Thug and Gunna shit could be patched up at some point, but that Quavo and Offset shit, that shit gonna take a long time. Somebody died within the time that they were beefing, bro. A close family member, bro. Fucking Takeoff, rest in peace. So it's gonna be a while before Quavo and Offset settle their differences.
And you know, he just went on a whole, like, I guess trying to make peace with everybody. Future, I apologize, my brother, I should have called you first, yada yada yada. I mean, it's a good thing, but it just feels performative. Like, why would you bring this to Twitter? Like, just keep it in, you know? And he said something interesting in that Young Thug tweet. He said, F the streets. He started a whole movement, a whole bunch of rappers started, you know, saying the same thing. We had G Herbo, Pooh Shiesty, Young Thug even said this. And it's a cool movement to get behind, but words without actions mean nothing. And I'm gonna be so 100. If y'all saying F the streets, what are y'all going to rap about now? 21 Savage, what are you going to rap about now? You know, I don't want to hear you rapping about shooting nobody after this.
I say this carefully because I know how the internet gets. But when rappers, especially mainstream rappers, start saying fuck the streets, I think that's lazy and I think it's dangerous. Not because the streets are good, not because the streets don't destroy lives, but because words without plans don't liberate people, they abandon them.
Hey, preach, my
Facts.
brother. You know what I'm saying? Preach, my brother. That's what I was trying to articulate the best way, because I don't want to sound ignorant. Oh, you out here advocating. No, it's not that's not the point. It's like, y'all ain't, I can say don't do something, but then I still do it. That don't mean that I'm making a change. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem. When a rapper who's made it out says fuck the streets, the message doesn't land on politicians, city council, or systems. It lands on the kids still in it. And to them, it doesn't sound like growth. It sounds like I got mine, you're on your
Literally.
own. That's different from accountability. That's disassociation. And disassociation feels empowering to the person who was.
Instead, tell them, like, you know, it's other ways out the street instead of what I was rapping about. But you are, like I say, you done got yours, now you getting up out. Like, no. Like G Herbo talking about F the streets, bruh. You damn near made the whole drill.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. G Herbo saying F the streets, I don't know what the fuck he gonna rap about. Out of all people, I don't know what the fuck he gonna rap about. Holy.
Era, my boy, come on, man. That shit is so disingenuous, bruh.
Escape, but devastating to the people still trapped. Because now the streets aren't just dangerous, they're worthless. And once you tell people they're worthless, they stop trying to protect anything. That's how you get more violence, not less. Here's the other issue. Fuck the streets sounds revolutionary, but it actually avoids responsibility.
Right.
It skips the hard part. The hard part is saying I survived something broken, and now I have a responsibility not to romanticize it or abandon it. There's a difference between rejecting lifestyles and rejecting the people shaped by it. You can say, I don't glorify street culture anymore. That's growth. Right. You can say, I don't want kids thinking this is the only way. That's leadership.
Right.
But when you just say, fuck the streets with no follow-up, no plan, no framework, that's not wisdom. That's a mic drop with no cleanup. And we've seen better ways to do this, real examples. You don't have to fund every block to be responsible. You don't have to save everybody. But you can redirect without shitting on people. Some
Yeah.
artists stop using street talk in their music entirely and pivot to ownership, business, and family narratives. That's silent leadership.
Like that nigga
Others invest
Chameleon.
in trade programs, recording studios, or local businesses that hire people who would otherwise be written off. That's practical help. Some mentor behind the scenes and never post it.
Yep.
That's maturity. Notice what they don't do. They don't insult the environment that shaped them just to prove they've outgrown it. Because growth doesn't require disrespect. Growth requires replacement. If you're done with the streets, cool. But what are you replacing them with? What's the alternative you're offering?
Yeah, y'all not replacing the fucking fuck the street shit with positivity, growth, giving back to the community. Y'all are replacing that shit with a fucking tweet and pats on the back being like, oh yeah, bro, fuck the streets, fuck the street. That shit's not doing anything, bro. Y'all saying fuck the streets thinking that it's helping that shit, but if anything, it's just making this shit 10 times worse. You gonna go back into your community a couple months later and just see that shit in anarchy. Why? Because the person that they looked up to for hope said fuck them.
Because tearing down an identity without offering a new one creates confusion. And confused people don't heal, they spiral. So no, the answer isn't stay loyal to the streets. And it's not fuck the streets either. The answer is, I understand where I came from. I understand why it's broken. And I'm intentional about not feeding the cycle. And that's how you evolve without erasing people. That's how you escape without slamming the door behind you. And that's how influence actually becomes leadership.
Listen, my message to all of my young black men, bro, stop looking up to all of these entertainers, you know, shit, even content creators. There are so many ways to make it in America, bro. You know, you can go get you a trade, becoming a plumber, electrician. Like, college is great. Don't let anybody tell you that shit, bro. Like, there's so many ways to get it, man. I do videos all the time highlighting a lot of positivity within the black community, man. I've been seeing so many black pilots, black doctors, black dentists, and it's like, bro, we can do anything, man. Our ancestors fought for us to do this shit. No more talking, though, man. If y'all want to see something similar to this, go check out this video right here, man.
For sure. Man, shout out to Antonio for this video. Yeah. That whole fuck the streets movement sounds great in theory, but in actuality, it is literally doing more harm to these communities, man. And it sucks because I know some of the people that were actually saying fuck the streets maybe thought that they were making a difference, but nah. Words without actions literally just lead to bad shit happening. So instead of saying fuck the streets, how about let's look inside ourselves and be like, okay, this is where I came from. What can I do to improve my community now that I've made it out? And again, you don't have to fucking fund 18 blocks and all this other shit. You can do some simple little by little shit, bro. Start up some youth programs, like, and we've seen this before with like other rappers that have actually gone out and done the work. Vic Mensa, I know some of y'all don't fuck with that nigga music, but Vic Mensa been doing this thing, bruh. X was doing his thing for a little bit before he passed away. Like, Pop Smoke was building a foundation to help his people back in Canarsie before he passed away, and I think that foundation's still around, if I'm not mistaken. Like, bro, there are ways to help your community without, you don't even gotta say this shit on Twitter. You could just do it. There are ways to do it without saying fuck the streets, and by you saying fuck where you came from and fuck everybody else in there. That's how I feel. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Love y'all so much. Marso Mafia, the gang. Marso Mob, the squad. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next video, man. Peace.